don't think so. It's kind of firm. You want to check it out first? See if you want to sit here. It's okay? Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Can we come join you guys?
Never thought of everything. Sometimes I forget to breathe. I'm drowning in a raging sea. My thoughts are all powerful and skinny. Gotta stop myself from spiraling down. My mind could create heaven, but I wake up in a prison cell. Had enough. I'm gonna break out.
Yeah, yeah, get you. we were listening to Kylie Spark. She just released that record, like 9 months ago now, and we produced that here at the studio. So, yeah, thank you. She was a lot of fun. So my name is Bub Pratt. Welcome to Kukuau Studio. Oh, I'm gonna turn on these lights up there too. And yeah, this is our first poetry slam back post-Covidia. And this is our first slam with our new mural, and we used to do this every poetry season once a month for years, and it's the only one happening on the island, or definitely on the island, and I think too in the States, so that's a lot of fun. But yeah, so poetry slam, we're gonna change up the format a little bit. I'll let our host talk about that. And what else on the agenda? I think that's it. We'll just get this bugger rolling here. And so it's my great pleasure to introduce to you our Poetry Slam host. Please put your hands or snaps together for Matt Stratton. Yeah.
Two shipmen smoke huge joint, throw captain overboard. It was a haiku. Thank you everyone for coming out tonight. We're going to be doing a different kind of poetry slam tonight. We have 6 poets on the list. So we're probably going to just do like a rotating thing, have a couple rounds. We're not going to have any judges or feelers. We're just going to have an enjoyable night of poetry.
Yeah.
To christen the microphone, I'm going to start off. My name is Matthew Stratton. Thank you guys. Wrestling with magic bumps, coifered from the shiver of her kiss, I gargle convulsively, my spleen feeling the sheen of its inverted angle while sacred spangled tenderness rose through the trove of her supple simper, exponentially effusive, just like those underground color birds get with their sticky talons who cavort through fetid plenums, clacking from their heapy nestlements just to fix off a mix of crunchy dirt and McTater bugs. Screams of acceptance echo through the tiniest walls of the narrow seashell. A child-born innocent breathes, its breath frequent like the ocean breeze, and with each wave that crashes, I'm reminded of how my journey has become a metaphor of what a backlash is. A melodic bypass around the sarcoma of my curvature, inebriating tonal shunts, moisture beams amassed from the vim of her atrial auricle, evaporating into felicity, cold fronts moving into warm fronts, and I'm thankful that patella blocked the emu from my genu because I'm swinging from a strand of sinew. I feel you, your heel blue, steady paces of the gracious graces that accrue. I'm pulling out spaces of my dew. I'm creating detritions through this classy chassis stasis, redoing the submissions from these blatant fervent harasses, the kisses concurrent to incurring a christening from a seraphic basis. But as moments wasted, I wade through shallow lakes of fractious faces. Padded with the patience, I eradicate trepidation savagely. Just like those underground color birds who clark clamorously and rabble around their cabbage cavity just to glut off the diminutive McTater bugs. Thoughts resounded as I found myself grounded on these rusty pipes that held up my cloudy bed with a clustering of confounded clatter campaigning to contrive why I bled. But my intention was bequeathing with adulation instead, permeating conflagration to the fringes, passionately separating the cauterized agents from the singes, bearing aromatic stigmas from my addictive binges, stony ninjas, barring the dingy tinges of those liquid lineages, linear with mint contingent heritage marriages, while rat-fink pigeons drift gracious gestures from the raucous ridges that they inherited. Still I carried it, floating like a fleeting chariot. I'm aware of it. We arrived with the expectation that we'd be sharing it, so I'm swathing up this kismet like a lariat, a full-blown tempestuous air riot, while very lit, pounding this notice like the hairy hit I flug her wit, pummeling the poignant pole inside the pity pit. I sit and wait for the slate to flip legit, and then I spit mad, frantic with the wit, spit crack in the shell of the love that I bet. But did I mention that it's all about intention? Fervently atavismic, like the underground color birds who swoop and wave all snapey and snarly with their gnarly fat color curds, slippy and frothy, who cavort through fetid plenums, devouring down deplorable droves of defenseless McTater bugs. Our next poet that we have up here is going to be Bub. Put your hands together for the studio curator, Bub.
Yeah, man. Cool. So it doesn't look like anybody here was here for any of the other old poetry slams. So I'm gonna bust out an old. You were? Oh, radical. Yeah, I'm gonna bust out one you might have heard before. Yeah. Real quick, it's good practice. This one's called Two Beat Kings. But Jim glides down Broadway, flopping a golden afro in some loose-kneed scarecrow walk, clutching the handle of a guitar case that holds an instrument he can't really play but may be used to in another life. He catches the eyes of prostitutes, fresh from hotel rooms, with purses full of cash, and looks them square in the face through tiny spectacles and says, "Hey, baby." Like he's the coolest James Dean motherfucker in the whole world, never conscious of the sudden look of disgust in the hooker's expression when she sees him in the light and notices he's wearing moccasins. Peter moves with a tall man's stride and seems to never turn his head but more perk his ears, letting gleaming straight teeth show through the crack of a smile that lingers and varies in size while listening to Jim's working girl routine. "Well, aren't you a sweet little tart?" Peter dresses how one would imagine a New Yorker to dress if all you've seen of the Big Apple was through the cycloptic eye of a camera and reproduced in black and white or glorious technicolor to be displayed on any number of screens except for the one in his Sherlock Holmes style pipe, which he keeps in a custom case in the right-hand pocket of a black wool trench coat. Keeping the collar up in the cold coastal mist, they weave past the working girls and duck into an alley where Peter parallel parks his car between two dumpsters. Jim climbs over the driver's side and produces a brown paper bag with a six-pack of Budweiser's horsecock cans and has one open before Peter can negotiate the compact out of the alley. Out with the spent can, cracking open another. We can't have open containers now, can we, Peter? Peter sips from the flask he keeps in his breast pocket, and they drive like this. They drive like this. They drive like this. They drive like this, beer after beer, pull after pull, cross town, between blocks, down alleys and parking lots, bottoming out over the high center of the street and back into the next alley. 20 blocks later and one full beer remaining, they find their sweet spot parking open by the back door of Cafe Consumo. There they enter the dimly lit coffee shop with a glowing stainless steel espresso machine that seemed to be catching the reflection of every shaded light source in the room. Jim helps himself to the drip, while Peter orders a double straight with a side of cream. They select a table and sip their coffees in silence. Is it time, Jim? Yes, Peter. Suddenly, Peter stands on his chair, whirling around like some superhero, and produces a haggard black marble memo notepad and says, "Anyone ever play with poetry magnets? Delirious beauty. Leaves one drunk and shaking like a goddess in the raw dreamy mist, but we soar in music and luscious diamond light, letting our feet lather in the languid juices of 1,000 whispering blue summers. In a lazy, sleepless place, Mary reads white over a chocolate shine while red-skinned girls chant an easy forest language, incubating a tiny vision of eternity. And Rousseau is playfully puppy-tripping those who lie with their enormously swollen tongues. They say, watch the mad death apparatus run through, wax fast and drool, peach honey shadows. Moments of recall hit me bloody. When did he cry behind an iron void? Urging floods to manipulate our reflection, though none think of swimming or rust as we fiddle and fall and heave as water knife sway pink. He slowly sits and sips his crema.
The index had good points and almost won, but that damn opposing thumb. Next up to the mic, Laura.
Yeah.
I haven't done this in a long time, and I went through some old stuff, and I found a short poem, but it just seems like it fits today. It's called Mother's March. They marched out on the White House lawn, stepped forward, chanting with banners and homemade picket signs. Anti-abortion was the cry. Protect the fertile womb. Deliver the life within the womb. Refreshments were served on a small wooden table. Games provided to keep the children occupied. Mothers, they marched proudly, battled the inhumanity of taking an unborn life, while their children only a few feet away gladly killed each other with plastic guns and rifles.
In the phone book, between credit and crisis, are crematories. Next up to the mic, Kalinda.
Hi.
Hi.
So I just went with the theme. It said New Beginnings, and I just wrote this a few hours ago. So I hate beginnings. I prefer 3 to 6 months in, when habit and consistency reveals the authenticity that has to be peeled, that could couldn't even begin to be unsealed when things don't seem formidable enough to be real. So here's the deal. Before 3 to 6 months in, for me, everything is still within. My words are decidedly chosen, and my ego will dictate what bond is woven. And I don't like walking away tripping over a me that I really don't feel like sipping, because you see, beginnings to me are like Russian dolls stacked, and time and patience are packed up in my lunch bag with tolerance for snacks, because I have been fighting for a beginning away from cycles of the past 3 generations. Bound feet, bound spirit, bound voices as ancestral relations. My lineage is a test of how deep my well was dug, my hands digging to have purpose, the ability to avoid with empathy, giving the futility of no more abuse a boost in its surplus. The ability to see the good became an unbeknownst to me odyssey as I embarked fiercely the unknown tragic heroine of some up-and-coming Greek playwright prodigy. My Achilles heel was love, and the challenge was trauma, and all I wanted was a normal life, not a knife to my neck drama. And no, that's not him, it's me, because you see, when you have PTSD, you become 3, and I am 43, longing endlessly to stop this arrested development that was served when I was born to figure skate towards Olympic gold as settlement. To a man who was a boy who was raised on the streets and whose only escape of defeat was to teach me very early on what delusions are, as I lived my legacy of Plato shaped to be a star. And the pieces that fell off were quickly addressed, sometimes pounding the clay and using force to press. And the beatings and the screamings and the treating of the bleeding and the cries and the gasps and the lies and the claps and the mom who was broken and the daughter who was a token, and the failed dreams and nothing redeemed. She was stripped down to a pulp by his fists and his words, and cancer was a salvation for that broken-winged bird. And I became her. I became hurt. And every time I loved, I was subject to pervert, I was subject to subvert, I was subject to avert, and I was constantly on alert, like when I was a little girl. And how did this come to be? How did the new beginning loop its way to the end like a snake? And how many times do I have to be burned at the stake in order to finally be born as the warrior goddess I was meant to be, where I can say, I hate beginnings. I want to be 3 to 6 months in, but that is not what I am in. So I am here standing on this stage, and everything within my soul is pouring like lava that has been asleep too long and needs to change this landscape that for generations has been wrong. And I need to say, this is real. This is what I feel. This is all the layers of me unpeeled. And even though we aren't 3 to 6 months in, this is the best way I know how to begin.
Bare feet on grass, a shadow, a tower, the temple is within. So we're going to do one more poem with Tim, and then after that we're going to do a round of short poem haikus with Ari.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice.
Yeah, we're going to do that after Tim.
Cool.
All right. Next poet, Tim.
Short one here. I'm frozen. Which way do I step? Which way is correct? Maybe none. But maybe one. I don't know. Frozen. Can somebody warm me up? I'm stuck. I'm frozen. I don't know how to move. What am I supposed to do? I'm stuck. I'm frozen. Dang, I'm frozen. But wait a minute. Who is frozen? Thank you.
Give it up for Tim and everyone else. That was just a first round. We were just breaking the ice here, getting you guys, your ears used to hearing some words and some poetry. But right now we're going to do a little mic handoff with some short poems with Ari and Bub, and if anyone else has any haiku, we can come up to the stage and we can hand off as well.
It's the mic handoff.
It's the mic handoff round.
I like the hot potato.
Fat bottom lip, bloody tooth lying next to him. The dentist smiles.
Caterpillar flow, wiggling my bedtime dream as quakes shake her feet.
Ari. Give it up for Ari.
Hello. There was another thing about a dentist that I thought of when you said that. And it was a title of a painting I saw once. And it was called, I wish my dad only became a dentist so that others could never get a word in. And I thought that was pretty funny because my dad's a dentist and he can just talk while he's like, I can't talk. Yeah, so here's some short poems. Thank you for being here. I'm a little nervous, that's why I'm laughing. Okay. Rhyming song. I just want to be an omnipotpania. I just want to be an omnipotpania. I just want to be an omnipottia. I just want to be an onomatopoeia. I'm drunk in NYC on shrooms and on weed. I don't know anything anymore, but it's fun. And I empathize with the compulsiveness of serial killers. Mental illness, or is it mental unfurling? I don't know. Aren't we all just animals? Does that mean we can kill? We're all trying our best to cover it up with thank yous and how do you do's. Predator. I dance with the trees whose branches guide my movements on a windy day. Oh, this one's not a short one. Oh well. I dance with the trees. I brush crawling ants away with love, taking care so that they don't get hurt. I dream of setting all dogs free out of enslavement and back to the wild. I would say I'm a rather empathetic animal, but when I see a mosquito, I become a predator. Sharp focus, complete stillness. When the moment is right. Slap in midair, clapping my hands together. It's the one animal I regularly kill with my own two hands. Besides bacteria. A bloody sacrifice for my own peace of mind. And this one's called Goodbye, since I think my time is almost up. Buddhism wants me to be nobody. And that's not good for art. Is losing all motivation a symptom of Buddhism? Or have I developed dissociative disorder? I hereby give up my desire, my ego, and I cease to exist.
Give it up for Ari one more time. So since we're on the dentist theme, I'm probably ruining the punchline to this already, but adorned in silver, a humble man wears the crown, his throne, the dentist chair. It was an orange peel accident. My head was tapped. I was out to lunch and my consciousness had been kidnapped. Man, he came in the night like some kind of midnight crop kiefer and left this little note that I guess in my discombobulated mess I was supposed to decipher. It read, "If you want your mind back, put a spoke in the lock. Don't step on the crack because this pot's not a crock. Meet me in the back booth of the leaky faucet and bring your rusty rake or I'll take your crusty cake and squash it." I mean, this guy wasn't fucking around. I tried to analyze the words, but it was just way too profound. I was confused. It was like watching the Twilight Zone with no sound. So I decided that, I'm gonna just go to the leaky faucet and discuss things with the dude once I get there. So I'm driving, they're all scattered, mentally battered, and they're a little bit hopeless. Kind of like a boxer gone blind, forced to fight the king in a ring that was ropeless. But I get to the leaky faucet, it's about 8 o'clock at night. I go to the counter there, of course no one in sight, so I ring the bell they had there, and this guy comes out, he just gives me this cold, cantankerous stare, and I'm like, whoa, I don't know who shitting your Wheaties this morning, bro, I just want to know if you have any beds left. So he hooked me up with the non-smoking on the 3rd floor, and I'm like, yes, what a score. Now all I can hear is the guy next door snore. And then all of a sudden, this guy on the other side of me starts ranting and raving with this, like, incoherentness, and I'm like, whoa, this is the guy who violated me. I'm gonna go close his vent. So I go to the right side of his door and kick it a couple times with my boot, and he opens it up real slow like, and I'm just like, turn around, motherfucker, or I'll shoot. I got Bible bullets pointed at your head. If you move, you're dead. I will blow you to pieces. And he breaks down something about how he never knew Jesus. And I see a handbag on the other side of the room that must have had me inside, so I grab it. And he just, stood there and cried and was mumbling incoherently with this, just incoherentness. And I'm like, so I handed him my used hanky, and he turned around and he thanked me. And, I grabbed the handbag and I left that poor soul to contemplate all his casualty realities. Unfortunately for me, I left with the whole handbag of different personalities. I totally messed that one up. But next up to the mic, Bub.
This is going to be a really fun series. I love poetry. I used to go to the poetry slam all the time in Seattle, where I was born and grew up. And I'm so happy to have an opportunity to bring that and share that here,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So in college, I put together a trilogy of poetry and prose and did it all up on my typewriter with black and white photography that I did and stuff like that. And so this is the second one of the three. The first one was called Bebop Coffee Shop, and it was about half the size. And then this is the second one, The Fabulous Adventures of Yours Truly. And the third one's called Spoken Jazz and the Ting Machine, because I had a band called Spoken Jazz, and I'd play the typewriter in it, and we had the mic, and it was really fun. Anyway, so a bunch of these poems I do in that band, and I'm going to do a short one and then a long one, if that's all right. That would be cool to be the cat that gave the lady flowers, who walks around in her rain gear, carrying a shovel. Short one. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, here we go. I was just thinking about this one. The other day I was driving this pod car, and it was a really weird feeling because it was, all electric and driving on saddle, and these things got nothing. So this may have been prophetic for that, I felt. The white cherry of your butt is over here, sticking out like the pink thing, or Keith, the coffee stand man in a minivan, but that's too hard to think about. Like if we all drove around in little pod cars with big bumpers, only enough room for your keys and your camels, because everything else would be illegal. Too distracting to drive, they'd say, like cell phones, passengers, dogs, hot drinks, and kids. Now we're all driving around in little pod cars with big fucking bumpers, when all you want to do is go, and getting them up, feel them, passing number 12, the flabby tax driver, driving like flabby tax drivers drive, bearded like the old man in the sea, sushi teriyaki into the punk rock show, like this, like this, like this, like this. Sometimes I feel like a ziller. Sometimes I feel marvelous. But most of the time I feel like walking around in a loincloth. And I wonder what it would feel like to sit over there like a ziller in a loincloth, tilting the picture of the Leaning Tower of Pisa so the Pisa stands straight. Flowers stand by the window and the fan, and saw blades sound around past the window as they work on yellow houses in the sunshine, the light that shines in her eyes. Then when she looks at you with the unwanted look of longing, like a ziller in a sundress. Dripping black ink drips, paper sips it down, sucks it out, like a dry desert, soaking up rain. Stuck on computer combat simulations.
Government-sponsored chili cook-off. What a crock of shit. So, how are you guys doing tonight? Enjoying words so far? Yeah. Nice. Next up to the mic, we have Laura. Give it up for Laura, everyone.
I probably don't need a microphone. Still have that command voice. So since you were doing a couple of haiku, I'll just share a couple that you might enjoy. First one is, oh, you're such a sweetie, thank you. Okay, first one is called Coach, humming to himself. unwilling hero at best, he leaves unnoticed. And old news. Inside the trash can, headlines and a girl's smile pushed underneath.
Thank you.
I don't know if you want a little short one. I didn't realize there was a theme for beginnings. I have a short one that I really love that's really horrible. It's called Feathers and Blood. I wish I was a bird so I could tear the feathers from my breast, spread them to the wind with the scent of blood, that you might find me lying here and send my wings flying toward heaven as you finally rip apart what is left of my heart. And new beginnings, coyote dream. I lay under the stars, dreaming that the coyote will come. He will gnaw gently and remove the scars that disturb my sleep. He will take them to you in your dreams, and you will cry out. I wake under the stars, feeling the coyote has come. He has soothed these rough places that trouble my sleep. I wake peacefully.
Thank you, Laura. Give it up one more time for Laura. I bite from the naive burrito and spill the beans. So next up to the mic, Kalinda. Give it up for Kalinda.
I didn't know we were supposed to read two, but I just happened to have this it's just like a fun thing that I wrote, but it's in English and then it's in Portuguese. All right, very just simple and cute. She likes to find undiscovered roads because life is a joy. He walks the less beaten path because it kept him safe as a boy. She takes people with their pasts and know they are healing. He jumps straight to cutting them in half to sniff out a good or bad feeling. She grew up where society gave her a foundation, immigrants and poor, but still she had a station. He grew up where society resembled something Haitian, where the poor were ignored and corruption birthed the nation. They both thrived on the streets, except his fists were her books. They both knew how to survive, albeit their innocence was took. She was Chinese American and he was Brazilian. The chances of them meeting was 1 in a million. On a ship propelled by destiny, carrying chance decisions in its weight, he arrived 5 years early and she 5 years late. Lava formed the island as well as their fate. Children of lava were birthed to create. Explosions aren't rare, destructions abound, but at the end of its cycle, new beaches surround. Ela gosta de achar ruas novas porque a vida é divertido. Ele ainda anda ruas menos batido porque foi mais seguro quando menino. Ela aceita pessoas se curando, entende todo mundo tem passado. Ele pula à direita para cortá-los, ao meio para cheiro a frutas de bom baldado. Ela cresceu onde a sociedade lhe deu base, imigrantes e pobres, mas aqui essas coisas podem ser uma fase. Ele cresceu em uma sociedade como Haiti quase, onde os pobres foram ignorados e a corrupção deu origem à cidade. Ambos prosperaram nas ruas, exceto que as mãos dele eram os livros dela. Ambos sabiam como sobreviver, mesmo a inocência fosse jogada fora com uma tigela. Ela era chinesa e americana, ele era brasileiro. Como as chances de eles se encontrarem? De 1 milhão, quase zero. em um navio dirigido pelo destino, carregando decisões distantes em seu peso. Eles chegarão 5 anos depois do outro, cada um com uma mala de desejos. Lava formam a ilha, ao mesmo tempo o futuro para eles lidar, porque filhos de lava nascerão para criar muitas destruições, explosões não são raras. Mas no final de seu ciclo, as praias novas com águas claras.
A group of perfectionists gathered in a circle. It wasn't round enough. Up to the mic next, we have Tim. Give it up for Tim.
Out of the forest, I heard a chorus calling me home to her meadow. So I explored this, and I adored this beautiful woman, beautifully woven. No shoulds in her woods. She got me moving at a slower pace. On a slow ride, I let that feeling overtake. I let that rhythm vibrate through my mind state. I feel it move and I see it move. What an incredible mind state. An alchemical mind state. Our chemical mind state. You know, the mind is chemicals, and chemicals are drugs. We are drugs, but they got a war on drugs.
Here, me and Bub are going to do a couple more haikus as Ari comes down and grabs the mic. I was late. Gramps' expression cold and stern. His coffin knotty pine. That was it.
I don't care. Let's stay home, make soup, and eat it from our belly buttons.
Fancy restaurant on the pier. Chef grabs the pot, packs it, smokes it.
My thumbs are not worthy of the poetry in my head. Nuance lost in translation.
I feel sorry for Grandpa Toothless when he tries to order French fries.
The power they hold, tower above the pale shadows of these clumsy thumbs.
Give it up for Bob. Haiku. Next up the stage we have Ari. Give it up for Ari.
This question, was that all improv or was that like
Oh no.
memorized? Wow. I aspire to have like a database of memorized poems so I can join in next time. Okay. Haikus. Haikus. whose? Well, it's no secret. My words can be pretty dark. Dreams, February 2nd, 2022, 2/2/2022. I killed a baby. He choked, and I forgot that he existed. That was my dream. An egg cracks and becomes a sunrise. I see lavender fields. Lightness, cried Guinevere. I feel very unsure about saying this poem. This is the sun's way of telling us that we're a little bit closer to our job being finished here, whatever that may be, however we may spend our morning till night. Time to celebrate! Come plumber and pizza bumbler and hula hoop schmuggler, Billy Bo Boodle stinking cheese guzzler, and Floobily Flop will bring the fries. And when the sun goes down and the lavender fields can be seen no more, the hollyback jiglets will dance around the fire and roast their smally gores of jolly roars. And we'll all dance until our hair turns white. And when we're finally there, and we just don't care to move about in our wheeler chairs, let's watch an egg crack, drip into the horizon, and become a sunrise. What else do we have? Oh, thank you. Musings about my significant other. Are you my doctor? Are you drugging my water? Is my partner, just playing a game with me? Methinks it would be a pretty sweet setup to get paid to help someone wake up. Even if you are my doctor and I am actually a living, real-life version of Shutter Island with Leonardo DiCaprio, I don't know if you've ever watched it, does that make our love any less real? What is love anyway? What's left when you peel back the socially constructed layers? Feel free to shout out answers because I'm still looking for one. I'll do one more. The next book I'm writing is called Why I Think I'm Mentally Ill and Other Things No One Is Telling Me. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Ari. That's great. So we're just going to do, I think, another quick round for anyone who wants to share. And thank you guys for coming out and enjoying our spoken word poetry with us tonight. Pendulously potent, yet pertinently particular. I wrap this ribbon around these tiny changes, a sea of phases. I see the stages as I flip through pages, crushing control of the cages that bar the beautiful from these beautiful exchanges. Making wide ranges of these phases as I spread love, accelerating gauges, stagnated from the ages as I reflect upon the mold that I'm made of. Carbon, fervor, flavor, voracious. So I'm sending these signals out to sacred sages, intention, motivation, resilience, adoration. I correlate with the rhythm of this dimensional duration, a heart touch, solar plexus, dementia, flexing differentials of discretion from desertion. The inertia of that specter leaving descriptions of my decryption, followed by the delegation of my erratic edification as I'm taken away on the wings of a vocal provocation. Because the severity of the probability is probably a hyperbole, so listen to the anomaly, glisten mnemonically, phenomenally, because nobody's bothering me with a coddling of obviously precipitous, anonymous, permissive presentations, preposterous, prosperously apportioned priorities to postulate the pearly yet I propagate, so that y'all can just feel the turbulence of my afterflow, peeking off the path I grow. Till the hardened have to go. I'm gathering up ancient images like a Navajo on poppy dough. You copy, bro? A sloppy flow, but you still can't stop me, though. No, acting like you have to know why this floppy flow is poppy, yo. Intention, motivation, resilience, adoration, consumption, commencing, condescending conjurings cauterized by cottage cheese crepe cookbook competition contestants, negating maternal side dish expectants, overpriced condensed congeal where they current crap to cultivate the compliant carbon copy cuckoos, not covert, convert current sense, constipated cravings of contentment mixed with consequence, comfort in the concern of the lack of culpability and confidence, concocting conclusions corn-fueled by the confusions of my connotative cosmic prince, conservator of course in creation, a curator calling crematorially to the crenellation with a clustering of confounded clatter, campaigning to contrive my coy contention, carbon, fervor, flavor, voracious, intention, uplifting. That's when I find the green grind sifting in the situation had just gotten shifted. So don't worry if you missed it because you're just a passenger on this train of thought. Please don't risk it. Stratton flow, a novice Scot linguistic, ravishingly ruling these reins a lot with these veins I got while I flout my flot, hound the plot, hacks the pot and twist it. Thank you. Next. Bye.
Dude, how does he do that? Man, right? I know, right? It's like a superpower. Fucking love that shit. We're gonna have a really fun poetry season, you guys. And stoked to share it. Stoked to. I mean, have you ever hosted anything like this before? It's great, dude. You're killing it, man. You're doing great. Yeah, right? Really appreciate it, right? Yeah. And one more round of applause for all the radical poets who come out tonight. Oh my goodness. We're gonna keep going at it. We got till 9 o'clock, so we can just go back and forth here until there's nobody here and they're all sick of it. It's fun, but this I think I read this poem at the last poetry slam we had 3 years ago, and this is a eulogy for someone who would be here right now. The name with the number in my phone, your number in my phone, is Kwame Dreads. I think I changed it from Danielle, as that's how we were originally introduced. Could have been a lot of things though, like Kwame Smiles, or Kwame Sings, or Kwame Sista, Goddess, Radiates, Laughs, Acts, Friend. There was a lot. She was big time. Her energy lit shit up. Her spirit filled everyone with joy. She had shit figured, but still stoked to learn. With that big, beautiful, crazy mind, could have been anything. Chose to be a creative powerhouse in a community she loved, and the community loved her back. Despite the chip on her shoulder and her readiness to fight. It was her readiness to be present that made everyone fall in love with her. Her readiness to take action. Her readiness to be fluid. her readiness to improvise happily, with clarity and love, fearlessly, despite unknowable odds, fearlessly, despite a world full of lies, ever fearless, a reminder to us all to live this way in love. Blessings to you and your family. Danielle Kwame, you will be sorely missed here. Thank you.
Beautiful words. Thank you, Bob. Place for sharing. Thank you all for coming out and enjoying these words with us. Up next to the mic, Laura, do you have any more to share? Have you? So have you been doing poetry slams here before, or is this your first?
No, I haven't, not in a couple of years.
A couple years? Well, thanks for coming out.
Thank
Hope to
you.
see
Thank you very much. This is for Jamie. The creature paused for a moment, remembering the carefree, splashing, crashing, joyful sounds of humans at play in the shallow places where her sacred environment meets the coarse, rocky edges and sandy shore of the coastline. She paused, listening, feeling the smooth, steady movement of another graceful swimmer like herself, moving through the calm blue waters in the early morning when waves are no more than a gentle reminder of the day to come. She moved silently closer and sensed the rhythmic breathing of another female, sleek like herself, with a smooth tan skin and a burst of color in the middle, moving slim fins in perfect synchronization, taming the waves like a song. The two, like sisters, moved, breathed, traveled the coastline, while the sun moved up in the sky until the magic, like a fragile silk thread, was broken by muffled sounds somewhere on the sand. And while one sank clumsily, then ran toward the sounds, the other, unseen, turned and disappeared below, no more than a brief shadow moving into the gathering waves.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura. Thanks for sharing. Kalinda, would you like to come and share some more? While Kalinda's coming down, I'll give you another haiku. I think we'll go on.
Yes, right there. Making us laugh.
Give it up for Kalinda.
I really don't know how this is going to go over. I usually do this for like a crowd full of Asian people. So I'm going to go out on a limb because everybody likes ear candy here. So I thought I would help, as Asians, we can tell the difference. We know Chinese versus Cantonese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Thai. And so I broke down how to be able to tell the difference just by listening to sounds. So with respect, in Chinese there's Cantonese and Mandarin, and people are always like, well, it's the same, but it's not, because in Cantonese you just need to listen to this very distinct onwa. That's all you need. So you just listen, and if you hear them be like, you hear onwa. That's Cantonese. And if it's Mandarin, it's different because it sounds like they're whining, and it sounds very whiny. So Mandarin just like, 妈，我要去厕所，为什么你不要这个吗？ You know, even like how are you? It's like 你好吗? So if it sounds like one, it's easy, right? It's like 我啊, with no oa. So that's how you know Mandarin versus Cantonese. And then when we get to Japanese, that's really easy because you just take out all the vowels. So it's just like just listen for the K's, and then Korean, you know, because people always mistake Koreans for Chinese. So Koreans, they have this hard G. Just listen for the hard G. So it's like so when you hear the that's Korean. And then Filipino is easy. That's like syllabic, right? And they speak with, like in syllables. So it's like, Lita, do you want to eat? There is a telephone call for you. So that's Filipino. And then Thai has this really high nasal one. So Thai always will end with like a, you know, like even the words are like, Sawadee ka, hi, would you like to sit down? So if it's high and nasally, then it's Thai. And then Vietnamese is always our favorite because Vietnamese just sounds like, I mean, people say it sounds like you're talking underwater, and I say it sounds like rubber bands. So I used to always have like Vietnamese guys hit on me when I was 16 and be like, hey, what's going on with you? You look so good. So it just sounds like, and so there you go, a breakdown to Asians.
Give it up for Kalinda. All right, you want to share some more? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, while you're thinking about it, I'll just talk on the mic. So, just to introduce myself a little bit more, my name is Matthew Stratton again. And a little bit about my story. I was born in the mighty megalopolis of San Jose, where ignorance was cast and the decay just went away. And for a moment I was connected with the calming of that wave, but we didn't stay. No, hit the road before I even hit the hay, and then went away to Oxnard, Lathrop, Manteca, then Modesto, ended up there, but spent the fare on the bus. So we didn't have much to start off with was the scenario. Lost the first crib and then wound up in the barrio. Yeah, right next to this cute little park where we spent the next few years of our life. Dodging XIVs. Stepping over used IVs. Drive-bys, family ties, initiated by the G's and the real enemies, the P's, just doing what they please. While we lived in the holes with the windows that mold societies. So I decided to trade my Betsy for a small bag of beans. You know, I wore their pants but didn't fit into their jeans. Raised my younger siblings before I hit my teens and deciding surviving, striving to get by at any means, but we did. Eventually we moved from that roach tree to the sea, and then out my teens the scene switches, and it seemed that fate had decided to drop some rags in the riches, so I'd try to make it scrape and bake enough of Big Brother's dishes. This decision of life is vicious, I'm slaving, still living in ditches, and it's just another propane night, going site to site to site, you know, sleep by day, work by night, but the living sitch in which we pitched was tight. Somehow I had to lose the roof so that I could see the light. So I stew and spew, teeter and totter and breathe, because I oughta being the only thing that's keeping me from getting any hotter. And I'm looking down in this cannon, looking at all the fodder, and I'm thinking to myself, I gotta get smarter. Flip the tables on the bother. So I got out and lit the cannon, stuffed the cannon full of love and lit it with my big fire starter, because I realized that there's no reason to be the martyr. Convincing my mentality to save and not to slaughter while filtering these contemplations through 3 weeks of old bong water. Yeah, that's when I spent the next few years of my life. sitting around smoking that green dope, and did it get me anywhere? Nope. Nope. But that was the only way I knew how to cope with life, being homeless and dealing with the strife, slaving for corporate herders, and starting to catch a glimpse of why man murders. So do I take another hit or just exhale and deal with it? You know, we're just tofu stir-fried into this thing called humanity, and I can't hang, so I weeble with my sanity, and I decide, you know, it's time for my spirituality to inflate, so I scrape off all the shit that's on my plate and put it in a bowl. Face fate, disregard this present state just to feel great, but am I too late? Because this road I'm on is long and it's steep and it varies and I can't see much of where it goes, but with each step glows. Wisdom with faith grows, and through this rough, you know, I'll allow the lava to glide free. I'll allow the lava inside me to glide free. You know, if home is where you hang your hat, then where I'm at is where I'm at. Sometimes it feels like I'm wishing on a hope, but am I content with just that? No. Nope. But at least I know I'm moving up the slope. Yeah, at least I know I'm moving up. I wrote that one in a period, a hard time period. Things are a lot better now in Hawaii. Up to the stage next, Ari. Give it up for Ari.
I was actually not going to take the mic because I thought I have nothing to share more. I mean, I have some more poems, but maybe I didn't feel like it, but I also feel like this is a nice opportunity because don't get this opportunity often. So I'm going to take 3 minutes and just try to tell you some not fake news, because I work in a newspaper and every day I'm reading news that no one ever hears about, but it's really crazy. Like this country itself, there's so much that goes on and we don't even hear about it. Like this woman in South Carolina was impaled to death by a beach umbrella. She died the other week by a beach umbrella. And I think that's a really interesting thing that happened, but like no one cares. But I think it's like, it's just such a freak accident, you know, that like, there's another, you know, there's like stabbings going on all the time over in like factories, like just like people killing each other. And like, I don't know why we don't talk about it. Seems like there's just a lot going on, maybe because the country's so big. But like, I'm here on the Big Island. I've been here for like 2 months, and like I'm shocked by like, maybe it's just because I work in the media here, but like I'm shocked by like the amount of like crime for an island. But like also maybe I'm getting influenced because my paper reports a lot on crime, so maybe I'm just like in that world all the time. But like I just can't believe people like kill each other here. It's just crazy to me that people do that. Cause like that, it's such a small island. Like where are you gonna run to? You know, like I don't know. It just feels like a big community. But people are very nice. I know that people ask me that all the time. But what do you think of the people? What do you think of the people? People are very nice. Except
the ones that kill.
That kill, or that like force 15-year-olds to smoke meth and like in a car, like. But I don't want to judge. That's the thing. I don't want to judge. I'm just wondering like, why is this happening? And maybe that's really privileged of me to ask, but like, what drives someone to like want to do that? And I know there are lots of reasons. There's like sexual frustration, maybe in our society. There's like, I don't know, economic instability, but like, how, I don't know. I'm open. I know my time's like up. But like, I don't know, if people want to talk about it, I'm interested in knowing why people kill each other here. Thank you.
Follow that.
Matches soaked, one lights, fire beats water. So, I'm gonna say a little love poem here, just to, you know, brighten up the aloha. Thank you, Ari. That was amazing introspection. I loved it. My love is like a red, red rose. My love is like rows and rows of captivated corn and crafty crows. My love is like tying little bows around my poetry and prose. My love is like patio shadows, everlasting, even after blasting off the castings of here below. A lovelorn radio that is shady so to be played low, so only you, the lovely lady, know. Oh, what I showed to captivate the innate state of yearning fancy fate. I can relate the great trait which you state. Wait, let me reiterate. It's like with love rising supreme, the steam right off the stream. I mean, this is no scheme. With that scheme, you send a beam, and although I'm thinking, geez, Louise, I mean, please, these memories, it's like love fleas biting at my knees. I continue with only thinking, holy guacamole, because I, a lowly poet, is solely a love poet, goalie to catch you in my heart, because when we're apart, I start to dart emotional art all over my lovesick chart that's now full. I'm overlapping with passion, the pain. You keep me sane. Oh, what I gain when you, the rain, wet this grain of love to seed the plain. Now, I'm sorry about these love run rampant shambles. Sometimes my brain is garbled while my mind ambles. So excuse the debris of poetic scrambles, because that's just what happens when my fiery fervor rambles. Now, I'm no Don Juan, but I simply must go on to show you my great intent, for my worship would be unspent if I did not show you how I meant by these previous words I sent. Peach puck, stuck to you like muck. I guess it's luck that some schmuck didn't snatch you up like a buck, 'cause that would suck. I mean, really bad. I would have been a sad lad gone mad, and I'm glad our love's not a fad like plaid, because I think my sentiment lasts past eternity a tad. See, I'm your wall, and when you bawl, I won't stall. No, not me, no, not at all. Instead, I'll fall and cover you like a shawl for you, who I'd like to call my baby doll. Thank you guys once again for coming out. If Bub has some more to share.
Yeah.
We skipped down.
Tim says he's tapped out.
Tim tapped out.
Give it up for Bub.
It's fun going back to these poems because I used to perform them a lot, and nice to keep shit sharp. Okay, so I don't. Oh, you don't have to put it. Grosso's Blues. I'm gonna stick my head in the middle of that horn circle. Clock time telling one to drink coffee and stay up late, but after you've done everything and can't think of what to do, you go to bed, but you don't sleep, because all that caffeine running around in your veins, keeping your lids locked open, to run with wily eyes in the desert, wily coyotes in the desert, covered with checkerboard chairs, inviting one to sit with trinkets and things that sparkle. But Tuba Boy, tuba boy still talks loud in the ears like a 200-pound prepubescent old lady. He must hang out with his grandma a lot. Honka, 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 squee, yeah. Shutting tuba boy up with his space traveling and airless around the chair with no sparklies in the middle of this desert. And that's the chair where one can learn the unfathomable, because all of the information is pointed at your juicy head. When you sit in the middle of a circle such as this, God knows what might drip and fall and land in your space to grow like a little tree growing in your fertile melon foliage while they run in silence around an orange non-toxic crayon, climbing to the phone with red wine, weed, and clove smoke, dancing all free like Crayola, pen, Crayola, pen, Crayola, pen, Crayola, pen, Crayola, pen, Crayola, pen, pen that flows and grows in rolling, smoldering butts, but blue light tear, horn holes in pockets, pickpocket tight with red wine gravy on the mind, but it all comes back to the list of fabulous people. Well, who's on the list? Well, the fabulous people. Thanks, you guys. We're gonna see if I'm gonna get Matt up here. We're gonna do a few more and hang out, and I don't know. We're improvising the night here, and I just wanted to make a real quick announcement before I finish, and everybody's welcome to hang out, and if we can help us be extra Pono neighbors like we like to be by not hanging out in the street or the sidewalk or the alley, that'd be super radical. And thank you for your time and energy and donations. Really appreciate it. Love you. Thank you. Matt.
Long lines from side to side, crowded images, kids with crayons. You made me think of that haiku just now. It was the Crayola. Up next to the mic we have Laura. Share.
Do a really quick short one called Stranglehold. I try to be thankful while hating both of these. Memories of you, the air that I breathe. They both strangle me now that you're gone. This is more of a... Thank you. This room, this is, I forget what kind of poem it's called, but you hear a repetition of the word room. That's kind of the goal for this, but it was kind of fun. Since we're doing love poems, I'll do an actual positive one. Oh man, grab my glasses real quick. My old lady glasses.
You're great. We love you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thoughts press in and suffocate with spent breath, the colors seeping slowly from this room. Too soon the chill returns to my bones with your departure from my body, my room. Slow aching, longing in my loins remains as I close my eyes and wish your presence in this room. Still warm, your smell and tumbled sheets, with your scent and mine now permeating the room. I pull the blankets close Embrace your name and breathe deep the memories of this room. Memories spread like mysterious sweet honey, dripping sticky from my skin now in this quiet room. And I, afraid to move and break the spell of us, lie prisoner to the love made in this room.
This one's dedicated to my pops who couldn't make it tonight. He's in pain, amongst other things. He's got some teeth issues, and it's causing him some trauma. Offshore drilling, angry, saliva dripping, new tooth filling. Another dentist haiku.
I'd have had trouble listening to that.
Yeah, I think I like this bit.
I used to be Sleeping Beauty before I was woken to go fight. Broken thoughts of a spinning spindle as I attempt to kindle what I know is right. See, I was a bell, and you were a beastly hammer swinging in high towers just to show might. That was before I had an aerial view of the barren flats you call a grow site. I was a jasmine jeweled tiara sitting on a dusty shelf in the low light. Man, I used to sow no height. Strong locks beaming from atop a royal residence to glow bright. Yeah, I used to bow tight. Flow with the fire of the fruit I didn't know not to bite. See, I used to be Sleeping Beauty about a half hour past midnight. But now as I'm looking into this reflection that's fair, I'm realizing that I'm a great deal more like mother-loving Snow White. And the reason why is because a little spittle of a slight. Now you can't see them because they're invisible. But I've got 7 sweaty dwarves hanging from my fleshy cage, causing me some serious fright. Now some things just aren't all right. Like trying to go through life constantly battling sleepy. Battling 7 drowsy dwarves. Knee-deep, sleepy. And here I got grumpy trying to control the conversations, talking about how dingy dwarves will never take vacations. And all this has got me feeling uneasy. I got a boot in my lung that's making me wheezy. Doc's still chalking it up to food that's too greasy, and that's why I'm queasy, talking his easy peasy lemon squeezy shit while aimlessly administering to Sneezy, who was provoked by the breezy. And here I am feeling lobotomized like Keezy, mutilating the airfoil as the chittenists try to please me with their hi-ho, blah, 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 cheesy, cheesy, cheesy. Fuck that. You know, Sleepy knows what rubs me, but he snubs me. And Happy tries, but only numbs me. And Dopey on the other hand, and Dopey runs me. Oh yeah, Dopey runs me, man. That maniacal midget demon got me wasted from his water pipes and 3-man, strenuously stranded on a soil stove while steaming. Now all of a sudden I'm thinking like I'm He-Man, where only 3 others know my secret, and they're more dedicated to trying to keep it than they are keeping me out of danger. Instead of a battle cat, I got a cranger, a bashful stranger digging in right above my left liver, hiding beneath the trench coat of my quirky quiver. I tell him to chill, he gives me a shiver, permeating paranoid thoughts rattling rapidly down the rabid rapids of Blood River. And sometimes it's so painful for a bashful Lilin to deliver, searching for elasticity. I need a giver. Thank you. All right, I think we're wrapping it up here. Thank you guys for coming out and enjoying our poetry. Bub, you got one last word you want to say?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. I thought I would have a last word already, but yeah, so we're to wrap up this poetry slam. We're gonna turn on some music, maybe play some guitars or something. I don't know, just hang out and enjoy ourselves and each other. And I hope everybody makes a new friend and can share a consensual hug tonight. And thank you again for coming out to Kukuau Studio. Also, get plugged in, Kukuau Studio on the Facebook. We're live streaming right now on our YouTube page. And yeah, we're gonna shut that bugger on it down and wrap it up and play some music or something. But cool. Thank you all for coming out again. Thank you. Put your hands again up for all the radical poets. Thank you so much. So yeah, let's let everybody know on the next thing. Thank you.